a little bit.
So you got some advance warning that something might be coming your way?
Yeah, but it's not enough. But nothing better than nothing.
How much warning did you get?
I think just only that I think I don't know, but quite probably the 15 or the 15 seconds before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Not much. So we're not talking about hours. You weren't really able to fully prepare. Is everybody okay? Have you been able to account for everybody and communicate with everybody in your family, your friends?
No. We don't have any time to communicate with our other people. Just they catch up through the media. Then they just prepare by ourselves. That is the only one way.
Do you have electricity? Do you have landlines? I mean, or are you right now sort of in the dark?
Yeah, that was the first the big earthquake was the attacked us the afternoon of the Friday. So so.
We are getting reports of the second earthquake centered around Nagano, and that's about 120.
Right now we received we are now attacked by the the Niigata area.
Yeah. Do you feel that? Did you feel the second quake, which would have been about 45 minutes ago?
Really big.
You felt it.
The second one is pretty big. During the because it's right now it's the 4:44. 4 o'clock, the very early morning. So then, second one will probably I waked up at, by the second one.
All right, Michiya Tsunami, good to talk to you. I'm glad you're safe. We wish you all the best. We'll stay in touch with you and to find out how things are going. Michiya Tsunami is in Tokyo.
And like so many in Japan, hasn't been able to get in touch with every member of his family, doesn't know if all his loved ones are okay. It must be a very difficult time for so many in Japan worrying about loved ones at this point. All right, we're going to get back to Japan quickly, but now let's turn to to the civil war in Libya. President Obama minutes ago said U.S. actions against Muammar Gaddafi, according to him, are slowly tightening the noose around the Libyan leader.
At a White House press conference that aired on CNN, Mr. Obama repeated that all options aimed at stopping the bloodshed are on the table. He said that NATO is going to meet on Tuesday to consider whether to impose this no-fly zone over Libya, a very contentious matter in the United States. On the battlefield, Gaddafi's forces unleashed a heavy bombardment of the key oil port of Ras Lanuf that, until yesterday, was in the hands of rebel forces.
And CNN's Ben Wiedemann is in eastern Libya, and he joins us now. Ben, so it seems as though the government has retaken Ras Lanuf. You were reporting this morning heavy bombardment of rebel positions in Ras Lanuf.
Well, it's not altogether clear who's in control of Ras Lanuf. We were on the outskirts of the town today, and we heard three different versions, that it was a no-man's land, that half was controlled by the government, half by the rebels, and the third version was that it's controlled by the rebels. But what we saw on the eastern edge of Ras Lanuf, in what's known as the residential area, there was a relentless bombardment going on for hour after hour after hour. I have not seen that intensity since about the last week we've been covering this area. We saw airstrikes as well to the east of the city, targeting opposition positions. And we also saw Libyan Air Force jet fly over, drop a bomb near one of the outposts of the opposition, and shortly afterwards, thick black smoke coming up from the oil refinery in Ras Lanuf. It's not altogether clear whether it was from a bomb or a stray RPG from one of the opposition fighters, but this is the second time that one of these huge storage tanks has been hit. We also saw lots of the opposition fighters heading back in the direction of Brega, away from Ras Lanuf. It appears that the intensity of the bombardment is simply more than they can withstand. It appears that the front lines may be moving further westward.
Let's just, Ben, it's Ali. Let me ask you about this. Is there any bolstering to the opposition movement in the acknowledgement or the acceptance by the president of France that they are the legitimate government or the legitimate body with which France is going to communicate? This obviously has not been picked up by the rest of the world. The United States hasn't made those moves, but is that affecting any of the momentum on the ground?
Not really, because whatever diplomatic moves or decisions are being made in Paris or Washington or elsewhere, on the ground, the reality is that the Libyan armed forces far outdone the opposition, and they're paying a very high price. I can tell you that there seems to be a shift, a change in the mood of the fighters. Increasingly, there's frustration and anger at the United States, at the European powers, for not imposing some sort of no-fly zone here, because it's almost reminiscent of the situation of the Kurds after the 1991 Gulf War, when Saddam Hussein was able to really sort of push the Kurds back and reimpose his authority on most of the country. There's a concern that the same scenario is at work here. That
what can the world do to help the opposition more? Recognize them as the government of Libya, because Omar Gaddafi's gonna be ousted, yeah.
Tsunamis, we're going to
Come on,
get back to Japan. Tsunamis are rare
help
events.
the Libyan people
It
protesting
really
for
takes that
peace and
earth-shattering event
democracy,
literally to set
freedom.
one off, and we'll show
Yeah.
you the science, the anatomy,
Meanwhile,
if you
while that's
will,
going on,
of the
there's
tsunami.
that earthquake that has happened in Japan.